All right, so this is part 2. So we're going to continue talking about triangle congruency. We're on example 3 of our notes, and this is HL. Remember that this is for right triangles only. So when we're talking about right triangles of course have sides and angles just like every triangle, but they have sides with special names. So if we have a right triangle, the side that is always across from our box is known as the hypotenuse, and then our other two sides are known as legs. Okay, so instead of seeing these dash marks as sides, when you see that right angle, automatically think hypotenuse, leg. So that's what we're looking for. The first thing you always want to check is check your hypotenuse, okay? Because that's the one that is super different for a right triangle. So always a check from across that box. So looking at our first example here, what I like to do is I like to go across from my box. And whatever I'm pointing at, as long as they match, I can label them H. See how both of these have 2's? Yay! They can be labeled H. Then all you need to do is see if there is another side that matches. See how both of these sides have 1? We can label that L. And because it's HL, I mean, they're easier to read, it's just 2 letters. So since they both have an H and an L, we know that these triangles are congruent by HL. Ta-da! Let's look at some more examples, okay? Let's look at this one here. Now, a lot of you are like, well, there's just one box. See how this is a straight line? If that's a straight line, that means if that's a box, this is also a box. And remember, step 1 when you see that box is to go across from it and see if they match. See how both of those are 1 mark? Remember, we're not going to label it S this time. Since it's across from the box, we're going to label it H for hypotenuse. And you're like, well, I don't see another dash mark for my leg, but do you see this shared side? And remember, if they share something, that means it's congruent. So that would become our leg. So now we still have our triangles congruent by HL. Okay, let's do another example. Look at this one right here. We have our boxes. So step 1, go across from your box and see if they match. Okay, they both have 1 dash mark, which means they match. So we're going to label it H. All right, and then next I notice, oh, we have another shared side. So if it is shared, remember, it's L. All right, now I kind of messed up drawing this example. You weren't supposed to have this box on the side because I was going to be like, oh, we only have 1 box, but it's a bow tie, so these are vertical. And if they're vertical, if one's a box, the other's a box, okay? So then we're going to go across from our boxes to check to see if they're the same. They both have 3 marks, which means they are the same, making it H. And then I notice we also have this other side that's both 2, making them L, which means these triangles are congruent by HL. Oh, I forgot to write that on our other example. And there we go. So that is HL. Remember, this only works for right triangles. Only right. That is it. All right. Next, we have angle, side, angle. All right. Time to move classes. Just kidding. Okay. So, remember, angle, side, angle means that we are going to have the side in between our angles. Okay? The side is in between them. Remember that lines, dash marks mean sides, arcs mean angles. So first thing I notice here is that these have both 1 dash mark. So that is our side. Notice how this has 1 arc. That's an angle. Notice how these have 2 arcs. That's also an angle. Now, if you're having trouble seeing that the side is in between the angles, what I tell my kids to do is to draw a line connecting your 2 angles and see if it creates your side. Kind of like whenever we were checking to see if the angle was between the sides, we drew the angle. Well, now you're actually going to draw a line to see if it's in between the 2 sides. Okay, I notice here I have angle, side, angle. And here I have angle, side, angle. They match, so therefore we can say that the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. Let's look at this example here. And a reminder, you can pause this video at any time to draw these examples, okay? All right, first thing I notice is I have a set of sides, my little 1 dash marks. I also have a set of 1 arcs. And I have nothing else given to me, but I have a bow tie, which means these right here are vertical angles. And if they're vertical, they're congruent, so that means they are also labeled A. So now I'm going to connect my angles to see if my side is between them. Connecting this side, I notice I do have angle, side, angle. Okay, now I'm going to connect this side. I notice I have angle, side, angle. They match, so therefore we are congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay. Let's look at this one here. All right, I notice I have 1 arc, so that's an angle. I notice I have 2 arcs, so that's an angle. And I notice I have a shared side. And remember, if it's shared, it's the same. So that is an S. I love them like this. These are the easiest ones to notice. If I connect my angles, yes, that side is in the middle. So this one is definitely angle, side, angle. This one is definitely angle, side, angle. Now, I do have a lot of students that make the mistake of calling this one angle, angle, side because they go all the way around. There's no reason to do that. Okay, remember you want to go the shortest distance to name your figure. So both of these match, so we can say that the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. All right, so now that we've talked about angle, side, angle, let's talk about angle, angle, side. Again, remember you can pause the video at any time. I also have a PDF version of these notes that you can download. If you have a printer at home and you want to print them and just write on them, I'm 110% okay with that, okay? Whatever helps you save time. Now, let's look at angle, angle, side. Remember with this one, the side is after the angles, all right? So let's look at our first example here. First thing I notice, 1 dash mark. That's our side. 1 arc. 2 arc. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and draw my line in between my 2 angles. And the first thing I notice when I do that is my side is nowhere near there. As long as the side is not in between, then the side is always after. So this one is angle, angle, side. This one is angle, angle, side. See the difference between seeing if the side is in between on this one and noticing the side is in between on this one? That's the difference. So they match. So we can say that the triangles are congruent by angle, angle, side. All right, 2 more examples and then we are done, okay? So let's look at this one. We have our 1 arc, our 2 arc, and we have a shared side. Remember, if it's shared, it's congruent. So we can label it S. All right, let's check to make sure that that side is not between our angles. Okay, it's not between them on this side, so this one is definitely angle, angle, side. Let's check the other one. Not in between on this one, so this one is also angle, angle, side. Do they match? Why, yes, they do. So we can say that the triangles are congruent by angle, angle, side. 1 more example, and then you're done with your notes for this week. Do not forget to take a picture of them and submit it on Google Classroom. It is a grade. All right, so when I look at this one, first thing I notice, dash marks. They match. I'm going to give them an S. I have 1 arc. I'm going to give those an A. Then I also notice I got my bow tie going on, which means these are vertical. If they're vertical, they're equal. So I'm also going to give those an A. So whenever I connect my A's on this side, I notice my side is not in between it. So that's going to be angle, angle, side. When I connect my A's on this one, I notice my side is not in between it again. So this one is also angle, angle, side. They match. so therefore the triangles are congruent by angle, angle, side. Okay? On the assignment, if you look at the directions, I did give hints to how many of them are actually not congruent on your worksheet, so that you can make sure that you at least know the number that you're looking for the not congruents. If they do not match, they're not congruent. If you do not have enough information, like if you only know the angles and you don't know any sides on this one, for example, not congruent. If you have a donkey, not congruent. Okay? All right. Make sure you submit a picture. Do not forget to complete your Google form. Only 2 assignments this week. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your week.